If you're running ads on Meta, you have definitely felt it. It feels like the ground is just shifted under your feet, right? That's because, with all the privacy updates and the evolution of Meta's own AI, the old playbook is completely out the window. So today, we're going to dive into this massive change, what some call the Andromeda update, and what it actually means for you.
So let's just get right to it and ask the tough question. Are your Meta ads obsolete? I mean, if your performance has been all over the place, if you're frustrated or just confused lately, you are not alone. And the reason why is probably a lot simpler than you think.
The old rules are dead, period. And what's even crazier is that the strategies that used to be best practice, all that complex targeting, layering interests, the little technical hacks, they're now actively working against you. They've literally become a liability.
Okay, so if the old way is dead, what's taken its place? Well, this brings us to the single most important idea you need to wrap your head around to win today. The new thesis is this: creative is the new targeting. And believe me, this one concept changes everything.
So what does that actually mean, creative is the new targeting? It's pretty simple, really. It's all about designing your ads to speak directly to very specific customer mindsets and psychologies. So instead of you manually telling Meta who to target, you feed it creative that signals what kind of person you're looking for, and then you let the algorithm do all the heavy lifting to find them for you.
Now, to really make this work, you've got to master two fundamental pillars. First up is creative diversification. And listen, this isn't just about making more ads. It's about making sure your ads cover different psychological angles. And second, there's creative-based metric analysis. This is where you let the creative's performance, the hard data, tell you when and how to scale your budget, not just your gut feeling.
All right, theory is great, but let's see how this actually works in the real world. We're going to walk through a case study that perfectly illustrates this whole creative ads targeting idea by breaking down 4 totally different customer personas for the exact same product.
So, the product for our case study is a high-ticket Google Ads course. Now, the old way of thinking would be to just run 1 or 2 generic ads for this and call it a day. But that's a huge mistake, because the audience for a product like this is way more diverse than you might think.
And this is where it gets really interesting. This breaks down the market into 4 completely different buyers, each with their own unique reasons for buying. I mean, take a look. You've got the student who's all about career advancement. Then there's the business owner who just needs accountability. The freelancer, they're laser-focused on getting better results for clients. And the agency owner needs to scale their team. They all want the same course, but for totally different reasons. So each one needs a completely different ad.
And that right there is the whole point. When you create ads specifically for each of these people, you're giving the algorithm the exact signals it needs. It can then figure out the difference between someone who wants a new career and someone else who needs to train their team. You're basically letting your creative do all the audience segmentation for you. It's brilliant.
So why does all this matter so much? Well, the payoff here is huge. Think about it. An ad that speaks directly to an agency owner is going to resonate so deeply with that small group that it can run for a long, long time without burning out. These niche-focused ads get tired way slower than generic ads, which gives your entire ad account so much more stability.
Okay, so we've got the creative strategy down. But to make it really sing, you also have to update your tactics, your funnels, and the metrics you're tracking. This is where the rubber really meets the road. Remember the old way? You'd have all these separate campaigns for every stage of the funnel. One for awareness, one for traffic, one for sales. The new way is radically simpler. You run everything inside one single campaign with a sales objective. You're not managing the funnel at the campaign level anymore, you're doing it at the creative level.
And here's why that's such a game changer. By always optimizing for a purchase, even with your top-of-funnel ads, you're constantly feeding the algorithm high-quality signals. You're telling Meta, hey, don't just find me people who like to click, find me people who will eventually buy. Every single ad dollar is laser-focused on your #1 goal.
Now, to know if this is all working, you've got to watch the right metrics. First, your hook rate. Are you stopping the scroll in those first 3 seconds? Then, of course, you have to watch your primary KPI, which is usually a purchase. And you absolutely must monitor for creative fatigue. That's when you see your costs start to creep up and your click rates drop for an ad that used to be a winner. That's your flashing red light telling you it's time for fresh creative.
All right, let's talk about the final piece of the puzzle, the part everyone wants to know about: scaling. Everyone's looking for that secret scaling hack, right? Well, the answer might surprise you. It's not about some algorithm trick. It's about having a better human process.
Let's bust a huge myth right now.
There's this idea that a really complicated campaign structure somehow helps the algorithm. The reality? The algorithm could not care less. A clean, organized account structure isn't for the AI. It's for you. It's for the strategist, so you can manage testing dozens of creatives without completely losing your mind. And that organization is what unlocks frictionless scaling. First, a clean structure lets you test creative at a really high volume. Second, that clear organization means you can spot the winners in a heartbeat. And third, all of this is held together by rigorous standard operating procedures, or SOPs, things like consistent naming conventions in a clear schedule. These systems are what prevent the human error and chaos that kill most ad accounts.
And this all boils down to the most critical takeaway for this new era. Your organization directly leads to your results. It's not about outsmarting the machine anymore. It's about building a better, smarter process for yourself. In this world, your ability to test, analyze, and pivot with speed and clarity is your primary scaling lever.
Which leaves us with one final question for you to really think about for your own ads. Your creative ideas might be absolutely brilliant, but is your process strong enough to truly support and scale that creativity?